Half-Life is one of my favorite game series of all time, next to The Witcher of course. If I had to rank my favorite video games of all time, The Witcher 1 would be at the top with Half-Life 1 being second. This video though isn't about Half-Life 1 or The Witcher, which I have videos talking about both of those games coming out later this year. If you guys want to see those videos, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on them. While this video is not about Half-Life 1 though, it is about Half-Life 2, which, if I'm gonna be honest, isn't really my favorite Half-Life game. Look, Half-Life 2 had some pretty tedious levels, and it's just not as good as the original Half-Life in my eyes. It is a good game, I just don't like it as much compared to the first Half-Life. Released in 2004 for the PC, Half-Life 2 was a massive success, and also managed to piss off just about everyone for requiring the use of Steam, which was still pretty new back then. Anyways, a few years after the initial PC release of Half-Life 2, came the Xbox 360 release, which was included as a part of the Orange Box. The Orange Box also included Portal 1 and Team Fortress 2, so it was a pretty damn good bundle. Now I can't tell you what the Xbox 360 version of Half-Life 2 is like because, well, I haven't played it myself yet, but what I can tell you though is what the original Xbox version of Half-Life 2 is like. Spoiler alert, it's not good. Yes, this is real. Half-Life 2 on the original Xbox is a bit of an odd release. Hell, up until last year, I never even realized Half-Life 2 was released on the original Xbox. I just happened to see it on Amazon, and because I was curious, I went ahead and ordered it. Now, before I actually talk about how this game is, I want to very quickly explain the backstory of this game because I know a lot of you are probably wondering why on earth this port exists. About a year after Half-Life 2's release in 2005, Valve decided they were going to port Half-Life 2 to the original Xbox, and surprisingly, unlike with Half-Life 1's PS2 port where that was outsourced to Gearbox, yes, that Gearbox,
slam dunk.
Let's do this! Basketball!
The original Xbox port of Half-Life 2 was done entirely by Valve. Half-Life 2 on the original Xbox is a heavily downgraded version of the PC version. Now, after saying that, it's clear to see why Valve wanted to do this themselves, because there was no way in hell any other company would be able to make Half-Life 2 run on the original Xbox. It clearly needed Valve because Valve were the only people that really knew Half-Life 2 from the inside and out and knew how to properly optimize this game. Now let's get one thing out of the way about this port of Half-Life 2. This is the full game, but the actual game itself is, as I said, heavily downgraded. First off, it's locked to a resolution of 720 by 480 and barely has a frame rate. Upon starting the very first level of the game, you can see the frame rate dips pretty heavy. I don't have a frame rate counter on screen, but for the most part you can still see the frame rate dipping just off the video alone. Keep in mind, I'm emulating this game on an RTX 4060 laptop. Aside from the heavy frame drops though, everything else about this port is just really bad. For one, the textures are super low resolution just due to the limitations of the original Xbox, and the sound quality is also noticeably worse. The controls are about what you would expect. They're pretty much the same as if you were to just play Half-Life 2 on PC with controller. As for differences between this and the PC version, there's really not a lot, other than slightly different menus. The visuals of this game are rough at best, with everything being just pretty ugly. The game looks pretty okay on an emulator, but if you're playing this on an Xbox 360 or just straight up an original Xbox, yeah, the game is not gonna look the prettiest. As I said earlier, everything about this port isn't really all that bad until you get outside into City 17. The visual downgrade and frame drops are immediately noticeable once you get outside. Every tree is lacking in the anti-aliasing department, and my god, the stuttering is just ridiculous. And I'm sorry, but it's just not possible for me to complete Half-Life 2 on Xbox for this video. It is just not happening. Anyways, when looking at this port, even with all of its flaws, it's clear Valve wanted it to be the best it could possibly be, but due to the limitations of the original Xbox, this port was just not going to take off in the way Valve probably hoped it would. I think what Valve should have done for this port was they should have at least added some form of extra content in order to have it stand out from the PC version. I mean, this port came out a year after Half-Life 2 on PC did. At least giving Xbox players some sort of added bonus would have been nice. This was already done with Half-Life 1 on the PS2 as well, with the addition of the co-op game mode, which was originally supposed to be another expansion for Half-Life 1 in the same vein as Opposing Force and Blue Shift. As much as having no extra content in this Xbox version of Half-Life 2 sucks, I think with the way the game runs and just how this port is overall, it's clear why they didn't want to add more on top of what was already in the game, as anything more would have probably caused some pretty big issues. Overall, Half-Life 2 on the original Xbox is just weird. Why does it exist? I don't know. Should you play it? Of course not. Just play the PC version instead.